investigative matters. And they were the things that you needed, a compelling reason to go after these individuals. And it was very narrowly scoped to just that individual. Certainly would not have included gathering information on their relatives or second and third tier associates. This to me seems like an effort to subvert their First Amendment protected rights, the freedom of the press, which is sacred to this democracy. And it seems like it's an irritant to this administration, and the Justice Department is being employed to intimidate and coerce them.
Yeah, so by making it this broad and not narrowly defining it, narrowly searching it, as Barbara and you and Chris are laying out, by making it this broad, is the intention to intimidate the journalists?
I think it is an attempt not only to intimidate the journalists involved here, but anybody else who would dare to report on things that infringe on what this administration would consider national security concerns. That is what they say justifies this investigation. And Katie, I want to raise one other part of this that I think is really worth discussing, which is how it implicates or how it potentially implicates the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who is also, of course, the president's nominee for, I'm sorry, a child is trying to reach me.
I get it.
Also the nominee for the Office of Director of National Intelligence, Jay Clayton. What they say is Jay Clayton, when he testified last week at his confirmation hearing, was asked about these subpoenas and insisted that they followed the letter and spirit of the law to a T. They say that because they got no advance notification of the fact that they were going to be subpoenaing these phone records, that of course the department's own policy was not abided by, and therefore Clayton's own testimony may not have been truthful and accurate. They are essentially accusing Jay Clayton of lying under oath during his testimony to be the Director of National Intelligence. That is not something to be taken lightly, and I think we're sort of glossing over that because the bigger headline here is just the fact that they're seeking the information, but don't let that get lost, that there is an accusation here of not truthful testimony by the current U.S. Attorney and ODNI nominee.
Barbara, do you agree that that's a pretty big deal?
I do, because either it's not truthful or he didn't know, and either of those scenarios is unacceptable. When there is something as sensitive as reporters' records being reviewed, the U.S. Attorney absolutely needs to be on the loop on that and to approve. In fact, usually there's higher level approvals required in Washington. And so if he just rubber stamped this, that suggests that he is not paying attention to what the rules are and its compliance. And that's just as bad, I think, as lying about it. So either way, I think